Hey, what's going on, everybody? I am walking down Sukhumvit with a few thoughts on, in 2025, is it still worth moving to, in my case, Bangkok? You'll see the different videos on Thailand's over for digital nomads, or it's too expensive to live in Thailand, on and on. I'm not really sure where these folks are living today. I know a lot of them say, well, I'm moving to Vietnam, it's much cheaper, and that might be so. I like to visit Vietnam, but I don't want to live there. To me, it's crazy, chaotic. If you think the streets of Bangkok are traffic congested, on and on, try driving around in Saigon. It's just crazy. I don't even really like sitting on the back of a motorbike in Saigon. They're just kind of bumping into one another. But for me, of course, expenses are going to go up everywhere in the world. So here in Bangkok, that's going to happen as well. We're still way under value compared to where I'm from in California and San Diego. I just went back for a visit after 2.5 years and got a little bit of a wake-up call on many items that even 2 years ago were like $1. We're now $2. And who cares about that? But that $10 sheet of plywood, whatever it was, 8 years ago, not 10 years ago, is now closer to $100 a sheet, and that's going to affect everything. Try putting a roof on your house in California these days. I think I did a roof. I did most of the tear off and then brought a roofer in to do all the professional stuff, and I want to say that was a little under $5,000. Now granted, that was, I don't remember, let's call it 99, and I'm sure that same roof today is 5-6 times that cost. I don't even want to know what it cost. And that's the other thing, is one of my buddies just got tagged with a silly drone flying over his roof. They saw some moss in one of the, we'll call it a valley on the roof. They went in for a further inspection, found out the roof was, I think, either 21 or 22 years old, and that's not uncommon. Heck, my little house in San Diego was built in 1959, and it kind of had the original roof with maybe 3 layers of shingles on top of it, and we tore it down. So when you're not getting that crazy heat or crazy snow, it's not uncommon for those roofs to last a long time in San Diego and not leak anyhow. But now the insurance companies are just looking for any excuse to get you kicked off the policy, and I guess one of the new rules is you can't be over 20 years old now. So staying away from San Diego problems and getting back to, is living here in Bangkok in 2025 for me, I would absolutely 100% still move here today. I moved here in 2022 when I retired, and if I retired yesterday, I would be here in a heartbeat. This city is just super affordable compared to where I'm from, and many of the same places where my buddies are from in Australia or the UK, different parts of Europe. It's just as expensive, if not more so. Coming here, even with, call it a 20% rise over the last 5 years, and I don't even think it's gone up that much. Maybe it has. Sometimes you'll see comments from different folks. Hey, Bangkok's crazy. The last time I was there, my rent was whatever, $200, and a beer was 20 baht. Well, yeah, when was the last time you were here? You know, in 1998, of course things are going to go up. Compared to that pint in London, that pint here in Bangkok is going to be a fraction of the cost. And one more reason to move to Bangkok, if you can hear that in the background, the Hemisphere Mall, they're playing the specials. So any mall that plays the specials is a place I want to be. Now myself, in a nice part of Bangkok, probably one of the nicer parts, Phrom Phong. I live here near the Hemisphere Mall, the Emporium. What else is over there? The M Quartier, right near the Sukhumvit Green Line. Granted, this is expat central, but I make no apologies for wanting to make my life a little simpler. It's already tricky enough to live so far from home. It's nice to be around other expats, and most people speak English in this area. I'm doing my best to pick up a little Thai, but that is coming way harder than it would have been, say, trying to learn in my 30s. I'm not trying to use that as an excuse, but I have just forgotten so many things in life that I used to have down pat cold. If it was starting an airplane or whatever it is, I couldn't even tell you the first, past 3 or 4 steps these days. It's a little troubling. The old memories kind of going that way, but hey, that's just life. And I did try to make a real effort right when I came here, practicing Thai every day and all. And yeah, I've kind of gave up a little on that. Everything I practiced and had memorized, I didn't really use, so it just kind of went in one ear and out the other. I get it. Many of the guys that live up in Isan and all, they're using Thai every day, and even say at age 70 they pick it up because they're kind of forced to. Well, here in Bangkok, especially in this Prompong and Asok area, you could very easily not learn but 10 words of Thai and you're going to get along fine. I'm not saying it's right or wrong, I'm just saying how it is. Again, I don't want to be that guy. Hey, move to Spain and not learn a word of Spanish, move to even Bangkok and not learn a word of Thai. That's not correct. Probably not the correct way to think, but yeah, is it possible to do that in at least this section of town, to get by without knowing any Thai? It surely is. So don't worry about that in 2025. Come on over, learn as much or as little Thai as you'd like, and you'll do just fine. And I did my homework, let's call it, starting in, I don't know, I think I started coming once a year or every other year, 2014, somewhere along those lines, and I just started watching Kevin Thailand and all the different guys that were putting out anything about Thailand. I don't remember a whole bunch being filmed around Bangkok, but I just kind of soaked it all up. And then the Bangkok guys, I started listening to them. They started talking about $3,000 is kind of a good starting point budget-wise to kind of do anything you want, go out to eat all the time, not have a ton of restrictions. And it really hasn't changed. I'll call it right now, I did a budget video and I'm somewhere between $3,000 and $4,000 a month. There's been a few months where it's been less than $3,000, and honestly there's been plenty where it was over $4,000, but that usually included a side trip to Japan, or even going to a cheaper place like Malaysia or Indonesia. Somehow I end up spending a couple $1,000 on dive trips and jet skis and on, and that's fine. If you worked hard all your life and hopefully you have a nice pension or some good savings in the bank, there's no problem. I don't really want to go into retirement just getting by because I'm forced to, and I'm not. I could spend more money, but I'm trying to keep a realistic budget. And for even call it that $4,000 a month, I mean, you're going to spend way more than $4,000 a month in San Diego, California. So it's difficult to retire there. And I was just a blue collar guy. Literally, I was a mailman. And all of my friends that retired, I would say 75% of them went back to the family home in Texas, or this person in Louisiana, or it's just so much cheaper in many other parts of the U.S. And myself, I always thought I might end up down in the Baja somewhere. In fact, if you go back to the beginning of my channel, it's all running around Baja California. And then when I started doing some more international travel, this guy, he's almost pushing that other car, sheesh. I really decided, yeah, I'm gonna come over here and live in Thailand, and I never looked back. And I sure don't regret the decision. Once again, in 2025, or I don't think I'll regret the decision 10 years from now. And I love my hometown of San Diego, don't get me wrong. I mean, there's a small percentage of folks that don't have much good to say about their home country. They're running around Thailand, but for the most part, we're all proud to come from wherever we're from. And if it's the Super Bowl on TV, yeah, it's kind of cool to gather with a bunch of other people and have Super Bowl arguments, or just hanging out in the pub with Australian guys and watching them yell at each other about whatever Australian rules football. I have no idea what's happening is on the television, but that's one of the biggest reasons I love living in Bangkok and why I would still move here in 2025. It's such an international city. I know that's thrown around loosely, but here it really is. I'm standing here on the road, and every country in the world is walking by me. You can hear the different languages and all, and sitting in the pub. If you're having a little get-together or whatever it is, it will not be uncommon to a lot of guys from the UK over here, a lot of Australians, but then this guy's from South Africa, this guy's from Israel. Heck, the other night we had a Ukrainian and a Russian guy sitting at the same table, and, you know, somebody said something like, is this a little awkward for you guys? And both of them kind of said, hey, you know, no, or these guys anyhow, they said no Russians or no Ukrainians really want to have anything to do with those troubles. You know, we don't want to see that trouble for our homeland. I don't think either of them did, but for the most part, they were just two guys hanging out in Bangkok. And for me, it's kind of like traveling every day, and I love to travel. You might not like it, but I love showing up in a new place and getting lost in the city and having to figure things out. I'm not saying it's that way here because I'm getting pretty familiar with my way around Bangkok. But it's just nice to be somewhere. And you might, the other night I was talking to a guy from originally from Iran, and his family had to move to England with the whole Shah of Iran deal, and now he's just like me. He came over and is now hanging out in Thailand, and he's been going back and forth. I forget the exact scenario, but his wife is here, and then he's had to finish working in England and all. Now he's retired and living here. I would have never met that guy in San Diego, but that's just kind of an everyday conversation here in Bangkok. Again, it's like just going down and having a beer. You might as well be traveling to the other side of the world, the conversations you're going to have. To me, the vibe around town reminds me a lot of being 18, joining the Navy, and meeting guys from all over the United States. Plenty of friends from the Philippines. They had a program, I don't know if it's still in place, where Filipinos would go into the U.S. Navy, and if they had a successful go at it, I think they had a little bit easier move towards citizenship. I don't know, but being a mailman, I know a lot of those guys did their 20 in the Navy and then came and did another 20 or 25 years at the post office. So I had all kinds of Filipino friends. That same meeting new folks every day, that happens here in Bangkok. So expenses are going to go up everywhere in the world, including here in Bangkok. If it's 2025, 2027, 2029, it's probably still going to be worth coming over here. The nice thing about Bangkok compared to many places in the world, including my home area of San Diego, you just don't have an option for a cheaper place to live in San Diego. Even, I owned a home, but rents now are just crazy. I think $2,500 is not uncommon for just a one-bedroom place in a nice area. Even the not so nicest apartment in a little bit of a rough area, it's still probably going to be $1,800. So there's no options like there are here in Thailand. I mean, even in Bangkok, even in Phrom Phong, one of the finer areas of Bangkok, I'm sure you can find a $200 Thai style no frills apartment to live. Again, it's not going to compare to a Western high rise and any of that. Yeah, that's going to be $600-700 in this area. And if you want that same style of apartment for $400, you're going to have to get on the train and travel 20 or 25 minutes down the way. There's nothing wrong with that. But still, you have that choice here in Bangkok. And I think as they just continue to build, you just, ooh, please be careful walking across this street. Oh, she does have the green light, but still bikes just come out of nowhere. I'm always looking right and left for folks when I see them not looking at all. But here you have the option, and I think that's going to continue well into the future, to kind of live at any budget you choose. And again, I'm not choosing to live in a $200 a month apartment, but if that's all you have is $1,400 a month to live, it's an option. And along with the folks from all over the world, I've met some incredible Thai people. I mean, my dentist, she's a very good friend of mine. My friend Stella, who owns Stella's Secret Bar, we became very good friends. I've met a lot of my girlfriend's college friends, just amazing people, and they've just welcomed me into the group dinners and all. A lot of them, they were professional people, but they spoke way more Thai than English, and my girlfriend said one of the guys really wants to hang out with me to practice his English and all, and yeah, maybe I would even pick up some Thai practicing with him. Boone and I, we mostly communicate in English. She kind of asks me, she can speak English, but she might not say something wrong, but I don't know. She might say, "I is home," and then she'll say, "Well, tell me when I'm wrong," and I'll say, "No, just say I'm home," or "I've arrived home," and then, you know, that's what she wants me to do. She doesn't really want me to speak Thai. She wants to perfect her English, if that makes sense. So maybe I'm using that as an excuse, but it makes my life easier just only speaking English. But I would love to pick up some more Thai. And I made my way up here to the corner of Sukhumvit Soi 22. I might walk on down to the left at Buddy's Bar and Grill and get a bite to eat. So to wrap this up, in my opinion, these are my opinions only, is moving to Bangkok, Thailand in 2025 worth it? I think it absolutely is. I think it's going to be worth it for a long time to come. Am I going to live in Bangkok for the rest of my life? I have no idea. For now, I'm loving living here. I love the energy of the city. I like Thailand. So even if the city becomes a little hectic or chaotic for me, and right now I'm loving that, I plan on being here. When I want to slow down, yeah, maybe I'll be in some beachside villa in one of the islands of Thailand at some point. I don't know. I stopped trying to figure out my life a long time ago. But if you're weighing all the options, I mean, personally, I bought a condo in San Diego for $55,000 years ago. Now that must have been, I started at the post office in 1990, so maybe that was 1992. Sold to my dad, took that money and bought a house. And I don't really care about the house, but sometimes I wonder how nice it would be if I still had that condo. And then I went and looked up the HOAs. I think they were almost $1,200 a month. So a condo paid off, $1,200 plus, call it another $500-600 in expenses. Even if you have somebody living in there, you're still paying for water heaters and ovens and on and on. Yeah, it might not be $500 a month, but it's gonna whack you for a couple $1,000s every now and then. And property tax plus liability issues with renting that place out. No, I'm glad I do not own a free and clear condo in San Diego, if that makes any sense. It's just peace of mind. Sure, maybe I'd be coming out ahead a little bit with the high rents in San Diego and all, but I don't know. For me, it's all about going into my retirement and just living a peaceful life, and I'm able to do that here in Bangkok, Thailand. Other people will call me crazy for making that statement, who cringe on coming to Bangkok to go see their doctor or whatever the case is. I wish those folks well, but I didn't want to live in a quiet part of the United States. I wanted to live in California, the busy part of the country, and I don't want to live in a quiet part of Thailand today. So Bangkok is perfect for me. You'll have to make that decision. Have a great evening from my favorite city in the world. I hope to meet you over here at one of my little meetups. I want to try to have a few more. It's great getting all those folks together and meeting folks from all over the world. You take it easy. We'll see you.